Hi everyone. Yeah, let's continue today on OmniSharp and our BSP implementation. So let's see. We were here. Up. Wait. It hangs. Oops. So now again, let's stage everything for now. So BSP project, I think this was it here, and we need to implement this part that it kind of works. And I referenced for now the .NET BSP project and the client for it, like the BSP client. And let me just switch here, BSP, no, .NET BSP. So what did we change here again? Okay, some warnings. Okay, we introduced BSP client here to be able to reuse some code. All right, and let's do a .NET clean build and stuff. Let's first test SDKs. Okay, it's fine. So we have SDK 8 and 9 installed. And here, project system. We need to implement this initialize step. We left off with discovering the configuration for the BSP servers. So we start with this one. We try to read the local BSP folder. trying to get every configuration file from there, trying to deserialize them, getting here configuration details, right? And then we will try to find DSP server that talk our language, right? The language that we want to support. In our case, it's C#. Just find here. This build server specification. Build server discovery. So read this thing again here. The build server protocol defines a standard convention for clients to connect to BSP server. This protocol has been designed such that clients do not require beforehand knowledge about the specific build tool to be able to connect to its server. Clients can connect to build tools installed at the machine and at the workspace level. Multiple build tools can run in the same workspace directory. Multiple connections to a single build tool can run in the same workspace directory as long as the build scopes for each of the connections do not overlap. Yeah, currently I'm not sure how to do this part. Then BSP connection details, that's only the DTO. Every build tool supporting BSP must implement a build tool specific command to generate BSP connections. But this is on the BSP server side, not on our side. Like our side is the client side now. So BSP connection files must be unique per build tool name, version, and build scope. Per build tool name, version, and build scope. To enable different versions of the same build tool, to select different BSP connections, connection mechanisms, multiple connection files for a single build tool name and version may coexist in a single workspace root as long as there is no overlap in their build scopes. This enables clients to request running separate builds within a single workspace. Can be updated by the build tool at any point in time, including during the startup of the build tool in a workspace. Can be added to version control if and only if they do not contain machine-dependent information like absolute paths or workspace-specific data. This is an example of BSP connection files. Fine, right? So what we wanna do actually is reading this file and checking for the language, I guess. Because now as a client, we need to select a build server that we want to run with OmniSharp when it starts in this BSP mode, I would say. Yeah, and for that, we would need to say here where x This does not run. Why is this? I have to rebuild it first, maybe. LSP server seems not to work. Ah, okay. This was my fault here. Yeah, the semicolon at the end. Whoop. Package downgrade, dependency injection. So I would need to bump some versions on the BSP client side. But this maybe later. So we have here select where it doesn't complete here. We have languages contains, and then like C#, right? And yeah, that should be it. Here, maybe language ID. This is in BSP for C# protocol. Language ID, let me see. Client. We need to see here. C#. Okay, so this should be possible here to reference actually. Language ID C#, like this. Was it ID or IDs? Language ID, right here. Language ID C#. Yep. So this should be it. And then we should maybe order. So because we need only to start one server, we need to maybe order them using the BSP version. Right, so let's see the BSP version. Would need to parse it, so but maybe first we fix our LSP server here so that we can use it, because yeah, without auto completion it's actually hard to write stuff. So we have package downgrade detected for dependency injection and extension logging. Reference the package directly from the project to select a different version. We have from the BSP client, BSP, Microsoft extension logging. Let me see what we have here. Okay, it's much higher there. I guess the problem is that we have an older version here. So let's call this 910 here. And Microsoft base common library version. I think it's also done right. Yeah, we'll try that out here and rebuild it. So we have some errors here, 18. Let's go over them first. They are all in BSP, which is fine. So we need just to remove some stuff. Error. Okay, so we have somewhere the setting that warnings should be treated as errors, right? So is never assigned to. So we can actually just remove all of them for now, as we don't use them currently. Oh, we have here language names also. Maybe we get the logger back. Oops. Only this one. Let's rebuild again. We could also just rebuild maybe the BSP project. Would be faster. Let's go here. Get an error. It's never assigned to also. Okay, fine. This too. Here is also what environment does not exist in current context. Environment. So this one we would need actually. So this means environment is environment, right? We build only the BSPs. Come on. Didn't I edit it? Seems that it can't find the BSP here. Omni sharp. That's strange. See the solution file. Okay, so this is not added here, and therefore I currently cannot build only the project. Okay, but it is a dependency. The BSP project here, Omni Sharp BSP, right? This one is a dependency of standard IO driver project. So we built this one, we would build also the other one. All the dependencies, yeah, this is much faster to build. Could not be found, so let's LSP restart. This should be available. Cannot be imported. That's strange. Is this public? Yeah, this is a public record. Wait, this is the wrong one. Connection details. Configuration details. What? Name version. Okay, so I somehow misspelled here. So this is actually BSP connection details. That's also the reason why I didn't found it, I guess. Right. Okay, let's rebuild again. And standard your driver. So okay, what do we have here? Type names could not be found, so you're missing using derivative or assembly reference. Namespace BSP client BSP. Okay, so this, I don't know why it does not suggest it. Inclusion BSP client. But we'll just add it and then see if this helps. Standard IO driver. So at least now it recognizes this one is here. So the language ID cannot be found. Language ID. This is an here. So yeah, added just manually. For now. So BSP standard driver stuff. So manager, wait for queue empty. So let's see manager, project manager. Wait for queue empty async. Wait for queue empty async. Project manager, get all projects. So let's add here just a little quick order by. So I don't really get why this does not work here. Order by BSP version and system link queue. So order by should actually, no question. So this would be the initial request. Initialize, and we would try to connect to this here, to the server. So if we pick first our default here, order by descending actually, so that we get the highest version first of the server. And we just would assume for now that we have only one BSP server that can handle C# language, but one that could be installed in different versions, right? Like different SDKs, maybe. So okay, that's it for now. Dependency checker, project manager, and stuff. And project on demand. So let's actually remove this things here for now. We can still look them up in the MS Build implementation when we need them. So, and let's just see what we need here. What pairs got user data, OmniSharp extent. Yeah, let's restart now. Not sure if somehow the OmniSharp is hanging here. So switch here. The common name used for C# language code analysis. Really? It's C#? Like this? I'm not sure where this is used. But it would expect here that we return the language. My project system, the key language extensions enabled by default. Key is BSP. Wi-Fi schema, workspace root path. Would be here, I guess, environment, target directory. And the URI fixer is just for now, let's do it manually here. Stuff like this. So what's the matter here? Cannot implicitly convert string to your okay, URI. Oops. So. And then we would need to start the server and pass the init params request to it. So, but we already created some helper functions for that. So the build server factory could be used here. So connection, create server connection detail and logger. So we would create here build server factory, right? Create server, var servers equal server. Then the connection details. Let's actually jump to 82 here and rename this. Is it not configuration but connection details, right? So when we rename this also to connection details, we should be fine here. And then we can pass this part here, connection details, and the logger, which is BSP logger, right? And then logger factory. Wait, initialize. Here, we have a logger factory that we need to set here. Logger factory, like this. So let's go at the top. Oh, let's call this like that. Logger factory. So, and internal logger. So logger factory, create logger, build server. So let's say here build server, right? Then we would have specific build server logger, build server logger, and we pass the logger here. So the specific one. Then we would also create another logger here, just for the future. This is the logger that we can use here internally. And then we say logger factory create again a logger, right? And then we name project system here. Yep, that should be it. Then, yep. So then let's put this below because we are not initializing now. So we created the server, then we create the parameters, and then we do here create client. Wait. So we would create the server, right? You build server here. On the actual creation, we start the process. And we can create the client. and so on. Okay, so that's fine. Let's here only use maybe an internal property, which would be a private build server. Like this. So then we say we create the client. And I server callbacks. And that's where we register all the event handling. Let's see, I also create server callbacks here. Let's go to references. So this is something I would need to implement. Server callbacks. Yes, and let's just call it like that. And we will rewrite the server callbacks that we created for the tests. Here, we need this one. Can remove this part also. Yeah, let's actually add the log level here. So we can pass it through. The rest is here, importing the stuff. Output helper, this is not needed here. Build, publish, diagnostic, received, async. Yeah, for all the other stuff, I think I need to look up how it's done. Here for the MS Build project system. Get workspace model. Sherry Chai, how are you? Trace listener. Okay, what's about you? Fedora 43 came out recently. Yeah, I already have it. So I see your name and you say. I was using the beta when it came out. So I used it already for a couple of weeks before it was released. But I use a modified version where I install Sway and stuff on top of the Silverblue. Yeah, I'm using boot C now. And I also plan in the future, when I have time, to create a 3D printer OS based on Fedora IoT Core. IoT Core. Oh, Fedora. I think it's Fedora Project. That's it. Fedora announced that Chorus only support boot C from now on. Yeah, boot C is also like CNCF, I think incubating project like CNCF boot C. I saw it somewhere. Yeah, that's it. So it was kind of donated to the CNCF. I hope it gets more traction through it. Let's see. But yeah, the plan was I'm using, I bought a Sovol Comgrow T300 printer. And the issue with that one is it's a good, cheap 3D printer, which has like open source stuff installed on it. So it uses Clipboard directly. But the firmware that it's currently is running on it is pretty old, and you don't get any security updates and also cannot upgrade it. And they don't provide like a newer version. And because of that reason, I cannot install what is it called? Yeah, I don't remember the exact name, but the service where you can connect the 3D printer with a cloud environment, where you can like monitor the camera, monitor it via camera, and also stop the print. And I wanted to create my own version for the firmware for this printer, which should be based on Fedora IoT. And like they have here also the OS3 version, which should just work fine, I guess, with boot C. So this is the plan, but I'm not sure when I get time to do that. It is Linux, but it's kind of Debian based Linux, which is using an old version of Debian, and you cannot upgrade to the newer version of Debian because the old version is so old that the whole FTP servers are down, so you cannot upgrade. That is my problem. So, guess else I would just upgrade and don't bother with it, but yeah. But I have also like a second use for it when I manage to get it running. then I would use the same version, just with other configuration, Clipper configuration files for the Voron 3D printer that I built currently, or I'm building currently. Just waiting for some 3D printed files that I ordered. I wanted to print them myself first, but yeah. ASA printing is not that easy, as I figured out. And yeah, I will just I just bought them so I can proceed with assembling of the Voron printer. And yeah, we will see. So I have some plans in the future. So do you have any news that you want to share? Did you update it to Fedora 43? So we're here. That's the wrong one. Good. Factory. Trace listener. Nope, I'm currently in dual boot with Arch Linux and Win 11. Okay. So you're using like vanilla Arch, or is it this new version of Arch Linux that DHH kind of created? Vanilla Arch with Hyperland. Okay, yeah, nice. Are you happy with Hyperland? I heard they introduced kind of subscription model or something where you need to pay if you want to have like some extras. Oops. So we can just say here new here log level. Oh, come on. So many errors going on there. So we created the client like var BSP client. Let's actually use this field here. Now BSP client. Build initialize. Right, and then we init params. And do an await here. We have I don't need the subscription, or let me see. Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's subscription for the GUI settings and some themes. I don't need the subscription. Have you heard about Neri Wayland Compositor? I heard about that, yeah, but this, I think it's a scrolling or something. Scrolling tiling window manager. Is this the one? Neri. Scrollable, yeah, that's the correct naming for it, yeah. I saw this one when I was searching for different tiling window managers. I didn't look into it, but the scrolling thing kind of scared me from trying that out, because it was, yeah, kind of new, and I just wanted something basic. I'm not sure. Can you use other layouts? So, or is the scrolling really like the main layout that you can use? Yeah, I guess so, that you can tile, but I mean, yeah, actually, that's what the name already says, right? Scrollable tiling, Wayland Compositor. Yeah, I didn't look into this one, to be honest. Actually, I'm pretty happy with Sway. I'm just not sure what I'm actually would miss. Smithy. Do they use this Smithy library? Is it based on it? Oh, it's written in Rust. Yeah, you sold it on me. Yeah, I have to switch now. Yeah, it's I don't need to like too fancy features. I'm not. Is it how the configuration is done here? Like for me, the biggest benefit of Sway is just the simplicity of configuration and being able just to save the configuration file and being able to restore my configuration pretty easy. Docs are available. Configuration input. Oh, it's also so configuration file based. It doesn't look bad, so could be actually pretty neat, but yeah. As I said, I don't really search for a new one. Smithy, I think Smithy also used in Cosmic. It's Smith A here. Rust dependencies. Every new release comes with a vendor dependency archive from cargo vendor. Pay extra attention to Smith A and Smith A RAM extras commit hash. Like GitHub. $20 hours ago. So they really develop it further. At some point I thought it was kind of abandoned. Yeah, it actually is used in Cosmic, so has a bright future, I guess. So yeah. Cosmic, Catacomb, Magma VM. This one I heard also a lot. But also didn't use this. I didn't really looked into it. Strata. Catacomb. Mobile. That's crazy. Yeah, interesting. Definitely interesting. How did you came up with Neri? Did you want to try it out? So let's see here. We have initialized only. Initialize void. Wait for idling. Wait until the project system is not busy. Okay. Get workspace model. Get the model of the entire workspace loaded in this project system. Get project model. Let me see how it's done here. Initialize. Project manager. Queue project update. Yeah, I want to try it out, but I'm not really sold on scrolling feature. Yeah, that's like also the thing that scared me from trying it out. I don't see the point in it, to be honest. And maybe if they would not advertise it and just say it's a tiling window manager and it would have the scrolling feature, I would maybe try it out back then. But for me, it's sounds like scrolling. Why? I don't really see the point in it. Do you know this browser, Lua Kit browser? I'm really want a browser that is Vim-like or neovim-like. And this is basically the one that I need, but this is not that actively developed. So the last release was 9 months ago, and there are some things that just don't feel like too intuitive, but it looks promising. So, and I wanted actually to also tinker around with it a little bit. And yeah, I even created, how is this called? On Fedora, the external package repositories. Fedora Lua kit. Ah, there we go. In the copper. I created even a copper repository here to serve Lua kit. And I have it installed. What? You're not too deep into Vim? Why? I'm using currently Zen. Yeah. But like I use a lot of I use Chrome a lot, and for on this PC I use Zen a lot, but like most of the time I want just to use the Vim key bindings. It feels like, I'm not sure how to describe that. It feels slow to use the browser somehow, because I use a lot of the mouse, right? And I would like to be able to move only with the keyboard. Yeah, there are key bindings, but I don't want to really learn a new one. And I want a simple browser. Also, simple browser that is completely also configurable via config file. Completely. So the same actually as neovim is, and also like Sway VM is. I like this idea of having one config file and configure it the way you like, and then save it, and like once and for all, something like that. Yeah, and this is how it looks like. I didn't use that because some things don't feel that intuitive. So like tab open, let's say Google. Yeah. And if you want to close like only the tab, I would expect if I do a Q, it close only the tab, but it close the complete browser. So it feels like, yeah, not that intuitive to me, because you have this QA actually to close all open tabs in Vim. So I don't know why it's different here. Maybe it has a logical like reason that I just oversee currently, but yeah, I mean, it feels strange. And QA is not even available. Yes, I want to configure my browser in Lua and also write like extensions in Lua. So I'm not like a Lua pro, but for simple things, it's, yeah, I can do it, I guess. Two viewers. Wow. I'm really prominent, I guess, on Twitch now with 2 viewers. Yeah, somehow I don't get the hype ongoing on my channel. Yeah, but yeah, I hope maybe get more people in when I finish my .NET or like BSP plugin for neovim, and also the .NET BSP server, because I want to introduce this in Reddit when I'm have it on a more stable state. Which doesn't promote my channel. How dare they? Yeah, I'm not sure. I need maybe to promote it more on social media. And also, like, the biggest thing, at least on YouTube, for me, I would need to actually cut the videos and create like smaller videos and cut out all the unnecessary parts, because on YouTube people want to consume like at max 15 minutes videos. No one looks at a video which is like 3 hours long. But I didn't have the time currently to do that. So yeah, I'm actually searching for someone who cuts my videos, if someone is interested in that. So I search for my own flipper. Was it named Flipper from Primogen? I guess so, right? Flip. It was there. Was it Flip or Flipper? Flip. I guess it was Flip. Yeah, so Flip, if you see this, I would like to cut my videos too. No, not really. I would hope to kind of cut videos from the live stream. Sometimes I have useful stuff, so some parts can be useful. And I wanted also to have some like a series of neovim, like neovim diary or something, where I would create small shorts on YouTube with like useful things that you can use in neovim, like stuff that I discover and I find myself useful and that I didn't knew about, and kind of have this small tips and tricks videos, something like that. This is kind of an idea, but I didn't realize it yet. I have just too many projects currently that I would like to work on. So my 3D printer that I'm trying to build, I have started a drone project, like open source drone, which is kind of I created it already. I would need just to wire up a microcontroller and program it. And so many other things. So here, project manager, project system. So this initialize step is actually, we cannot do this part here, but I could maybe just say here BSP client, get a waiter, get result. For now, result. Initialize. And then we would call BSP client initialized. And here again, get the waiter, get result. And that's basically it. So then we could save the initialize information here about the server. Let's call this then initialize info or something. Oops. Something like this. So what do we have here? Cancellation token. There is no argument. Okay. Do we need a cancellation token? Yes. So cancellation token none for now. Cancellation token none. Like this. Or I could say no, that's fine. I guess that's fine here. We need just to look out here. Wait for idle task. Yeah, I think we need some kind of synchronization mechanism here. So every time we do some request, so a kind of request queue or something. But for now, let's just say task, complete task. We remove this part. Get workspace model async. So what does it actually do here? We get all projects, solution file or root path. Where is it? this is actually in BSP client. Wait, we have here get it back solution file or root path. So this is the workspace. I think we get it when we do a BSP client workspace build targets async. So when we do this part, we just say await like and var workspace result and cancellation token none. So cancellation token none again here. Workspace result. We have their targets. Initialize info. Is it in the initialize info then? Let me see. And initialize info. Capabilities. Display name. Version. How it is done here. There's the project manager, project system here, initialize. So first we need to find the solution file. But this is something that the build server should do, I guess. So what I could do actually, searching here in the workspace result for the targets. So let's see, solution, right? I could say workspace result, targets, where, and then stuff like this. So trying to find the solution file here. ID, and in the ID we have the URI. And here we could actually get the file name. If this is a file, it should be a file. But we could say file extension, or it was, how was that to get the extension of the file? Is it path? Get file name without extension, get extension. So So stuff like that. Right, then we would get the solution. So first our default URI absolute path and get the extension. So in that case, we would have a solution if this is not null. And if we have null here, then we would need to search for any application project. Or we could sort the targets properly. So we could do also here kind of ordering. So solution or project target, something like this. Now we could say here order by descending. This is first, then by let me see, ascending would be 0 first. So this is true is 1, so descending is right. Then by descending x x capabilities. Can compile, can run, can compile, can debug. Data. Let me think about that. We could also have tags in there. Oh, language IDs. This would be also interesting. Contains so for, let's just also filter them out here. Not sure if this can happen, but just can avoid that issue in the future so that we only use targets which are specific for the C# language, and therefore we order by descending. I like this. Descending. What does it want from me? Make anonymous function static. Ah, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Static. This also one. Static. Okay. Then I need this, but we can say we use the tags contains. Let's just see which build target tag. We have different one. Build target tag, application benchmark, library, or test. So let's say we order them by application first, then by library, and that's it. So then we just pick the first one. So first or default, right? And then we should have one of them, and we can say base directory here. That should be then the workspace directory. And get all projects. All projects. How do they look like? The projects here. Get initial project paths and IDs. Oh, this is the logic here, how they do that. So solution file. When solution file is provided, then use it. Otherwise, assume that the path provided is a directory and look for a solution there. That does not work for us because we have the build targets discovery from the build server. So this one we could skip. Then finally, if there isn't a single solution immediately available, just process all of the projects beneath the root path. So get files. Bloop. So I can change that. So maybe we do this also differently here. So let's change it again. So when we cannot find a solution file, the build targets here. Solution target, right? If solution target is null, then we do this. And this. Else else we do say solution path, solution target, base directory. Absolute path. So that's it. Then we say here it's solution file or root path. All projects we get from workspace result targets. We can just select them. Let's call this also here for all projects. And we select here where x, oops, ID, URI, absolute path, x extension like this equals here's project. Yeah, that I missed some. It's also static. So we're fine here. All projects. Get this to all projects. Oops. And now let's see. This get all projects here. What do they return? The project file info. How does this look like? Okay, I guess I have to. This is omniscient file. Not sure if it has to be exactly the same. Because this one is an OmniSharp MS build namespace. MS build workspace info. Where is this used? Or maybe the other way around. Get workspace model. Where is this one used? Go references. Abstraction plugin. Project system cake. MS build. How is this done here? Cake context model collection. So it returns different objects for different build tools here. It would be also okay for me just return something different, but where is this one used? And endpoint handler facts. Not implemented. Tests. Here it returns script context model collection. Projects. But now somewhere this has to be called internally, right? So we have this workspace model here and response, workspace information response. Project system. where it's initialized. The workspace information service. How does this work? We have here different project systems called handle. Then we go over the project systems where project is initialized. Project system workspace response. And then we return the response here. Tests. Action handler, sharp handler. I'm not sure if this is the same here, or we search just for all handles. Workspace information request versus workspace information response. Composition host builder. This is only for logging here. Test host, OmniShop test host. Test. Here in this startup. Create default service provider. I don't get how this should work actually. We return some objects here. When we do get workspace model, where is this then used actually? Plugin. Roslyn workspace information service. Auto process. Only here. We add it to the response and we return the response here. Omni sharp handler. Hey, does the OmniSharp support .NET later than the 6th version? I have had of it, but the main thing that I got is that it is supported to the 6th version. Is the alternative to 8 and 9. There, it is OmniSharp supports versions higher than 6. So currently it is running on 8 and 9 on my side here. So if you just see .NET list SDKs, so 8 and 9, and it is working. Wait, I have to take care of my cat. Wait a sec. So I'm back. Yeah, you're welcome. There's also this new LSP server, the official one from Microsoft, which I'm sure. Do you using neovim? Because yeah, for it there is also some work going on to be it kind of easy to easier install it with Mason, but it's not finished yet. I created some pull requests there also. Actually, one pull request. Let me see. This one. So yeah, I prepared one pull request when we merged this in Mason. Then we could easily install this Roslyn LSP server from Microsoft, which is currently only published to the internal Azure instance. And yeah, it's kind of hard to install currently, but I hope if this one is merged, we can easier install it and use also like this new language server. But yeah, for OmniSharp, I kind of want to try to create this feature for the build server, so that the build server that I currently build can be used with OmniSharp. Not sure if this will ever be accepted upstream, but yeah, currently I'm trying to do that on a fork, and now let's see how this works out. But you're happy. I'm happy if you like to check out the .NET BSP, and especially if you're using neovim, you can also try the .NET BSP server with BSP and Vim. I was trying to make it work with Z code editor. Neovim is cool, but I don't have the skill. I don't have the skills to use it efficiently. Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, this. I'm currently building like the .NET BSP for neovim, but it can be used also with Z. But I guess they don't have any plugin currently available which can connect to the build server. But yeah, maybe in the future. I will not try to convince you to use neovim. Everyone should decide for his own. Yeah, that's it. I'm not sure how do you configure language servers in Z. Guess this should be working out of the box there, right? They provide like default configuration, delivering it with the Z installation, I guess. Don't really get how this should work here. This is shared OmniSharp handler, attribute endpoint language, OmniSharp handler. So if we search for this one. Oh. Wait. OmniSharp handler attribute endpoint, workspace information, and language. And the language here is projects. What? Why? Fix usings, find symbols, refactoring. OmniSharp, source OmniSharp, Roslyn C#. Workspace information request. Exclude source files. So this could be the right path here. Test host, tests. Let's remove everything that is test related. Exclude. Test. Project system. Abstractions. Nope. Maybe make it a little bit smaller so I get the preview here. Okay, cake project system facts. This is test. This is in tests. And this one is plugin stuff. Endpoint middleware facts. That's also for tests. Information service. Also information service. The configuration is done through configuring the path to OmniSharp and by installing extension for C# in the Z-code editor. Okay, I understand. Project system, this is from me, and perfect, this is test. Where are they made? The requests. So this is the definition and abstractions and stuff. Project tests, plugin. Endpoint middleware facts. So I guess it's somehow dynamically used. So when a request comes in and it matches one of the endpoints and request type. This is workspace information. My information. So not something test related, right? We can search here. Tab. Cake project. Endpoints. Constant projects. But this is not. Or is this? Yeah, this is actually something that the language server internally uses, right? So should be able to find this location when I try to find where this one is used. So when we go here, find references, maybe it's small list. Here. HTTP middleware, endpoint middleware, language server host. Projects are special case. This allows us to select the correct project language for them. Language server host. Project predicate handler. Does this mean here? Static language predicate handler. Endpoint handler, factory handler. Language predicate handler. Get language for file path. Make generic method. And then invoke. I really don't get it. Mm-hmm. So now we get many errors here. Workspace info. Test, also test. Test. This is so strange. Not find a reference to that. Projects on demand. Workspace info. Yep. So this is really confusing to me how this should work. So it's standard IO. I will program main LSP, the language server host, input, configure logging on, initialize here. Then we do a create composition host, initialize composition host, get exports iProject system select, wait for idle async. We wait till Project systems get initialized here. Workspace initialized. And change. OmniSharp workspace, options, monitor, get required service configuration root, and so on. Workspace, provide workspace options. Provide fallback analyzer configuration. Workspace options provider. Our workspace options providers. What do we have here? C# format workspace options provider. Okay, it's something different. Project systems. Okay, we get the project systems here. We go over all of them and we say get section, project system key, project configuration, get value enabled. Okay, so this is the configuration part for the project system. Workspace initialized. Fallback analyzer. Session host. Register handlers. Make it easier to resolve handlers from math without having to add more attributes to the services if we can help it. Codeless handler, completion handler, definition handler. Enumerate. So where is this? Register. Configure composition host. Get exports, project systems, group by language, select document selectors. language. Request handlers. Lazy request handler, OmniSharp request handler, metadata. Get these with metadata so we can attach languages. This will then let us build up a better document filter and add handler for each type of handler. This will mean that we will have a strategy to create handlers from the interface type. Handler collection. Each. The goal here is at an interoperability between OmniSharp and LSP. This way, an existing client, say VS Code, that is using the custom OmniSharp protocol can migrate to the new one, not lose any functionality. Okay. Oh, this is this O-sharp stuff. Extra methods here. Initialize interoperability each. This part can be skipped for now. For me, at least. So we have here the usual handler and interoperability. So, okay, when we look at all the handlers here, now I would need to look into one specific handler, let's say completion, right? So with the handlers here, request handlers, OmniSharp request handlers, composition, get exports, OmniSharp request handler metadata, the lazy request, I request. Go to so go to file. Let's look at this one, right? So where is this? We have OmniSharp Roslyn C# services and navigation. Go to file service. How does this work? We have OmniSharp workspace. Code analysis workspace. Okay, and then we have a handler function here, workspace, current solution projects. select and do stuff. So OmniSharp. Open document. This current solution. Okay. That project. Is this handled everything over this OmniSharp workspace? What do we have here? Documents. Those projects. Add project. Move project. This could be actually it. Used everywhere here. MS build. Whatever. Reference. Okay, extend stuff. Wait for model ready handler. Search and queue for loading C# projects that are likely to reference the requested file. C# source files are located pretty much always in the same folder with a project's file or in a subfolder below. Search up the root folder to enable on-demand projects load in additional scenarios like the following: a subfolder in the big code base, and so on. Process loop. So search for workspace, current solution, remove project. Apply changes. Project manager. The project manager is used actually to communicate stuff to the workspace here. And here we have the manager. That we initialize here. Queue project update. Project to update. General projects. Project files get items. Why does it even matter here? In project system. Whatever we return here is not used anymore anywhere. At least I cannot find any usage of it. Exclude. This one does not have any common interface or something, so this is only tracked somewhere as a response. This queue. Projects to update, queue, try, receive. Projects by file, map, dictionary. Ensure that we don't process the same project twice. However, if a project does appear more than once in the update queue, ensure that all allow auto restore is set to true. Any of the updates require it. Process queue. But this stuff, what the project manager does, is something that the build server should do, I guess. Keep track of current projects and when they need to be updated. So if we go to the project system here, try get project model. Project model. How does this look like? Is ms build project info. This is also a custom type again, so the source on ms build model build project model async. Is this part of this interface? Yes. So we have here get a model of entire workspace loaded in this project system. And here get a model of a specific project in this project system. Project event formatter. Project information service. When is this one used? So that's again here. Search for it, maybe. Tests are tests. Tests. Maybe tests here. Cannot find currently the actual place where it is used. Abstractions. Where the request gets handled, so in the service, but who does the requests? Are they used somewhere else? Omni sharp endpoints. And these are all the requests, objects. But where are any requests created? I thought it would be easier to find the place where the requests are generated, because this should be done by the language server itself. So yeah, I guess we'll continue in the next one. It's really not that easy to spot. So yeah, we'll continue in the next one. So see you there.